So, well, here we are. We're
Woohoo!
back and we're live. It's so good to see your smiling faces. Hello, everybody. It's
Hi.
Tuesday Night Live.
The best night of the week.
I'm here with the lovely Kate Semmens. I'm Dean Nixon, and we are coming at you live from rainy St. George,
We got the weather update.
Utah. There's the weather update.
Yeah.
It's so funny to us too, because if you tune back in about 6 months, it's gonna look so much different. But it's always this time of year. It's so dark, and it's so we got all our lights going, trying to compensate for it. It's really quite an ordeal. It's fun though.
We got done last week, and the both of us were like, I can't even see.
I can't see. But we're excited to join you tonight. As always, we're always trying to bring you really timely, important life coaching tools, techniques, and self-help. That's one of the main emphasis we have had here at TurningLeaf for the 20 years that we've been up and running. We've been working to bring self-help and the ability for us to evolve and grow into our toolbox and tool belts so that we can work and heal ourselves and grow.
Yep, absolutely. So I am going to start off, Dean, because we got a lot of positive feedback about just kind of the calendaring that we did last time.
Okay.
So I'm just going to tell you guys what it is that we've got coming up over the next few weeks. And if you want to be a part of it, then you know exactly the time frame that would look like. So we did just have the second ever level 5.
Yes.
We went and did that last weekend at the Wingate, and it was wonderful.
Yeah, you may have
incredible.
Seen the post of all the people that went through. It was pretty amazing.
Yep, and so that was a super fun space to get into and learn and grow with all those incredible participants. We love you. We're proud of you. Keep moving your feet. And then here in just 3 weeks, we've got our first of 2023's Level 1 Awakening Seminar.
Yes.
So that's January 26th, 27th, and 28th.
Yes.
That's the dates on that.
Yeah, and we are starting to get people signing up. And we really do want to invite you to join us. This seminar is really for those that are looking to level up this year, those that are ready to move forward, to kind of create these new skills, new tools, a lot of the ability to learn healthier boundaries, to learn how to communicate, to learn how to disconnect from the external validation that we get in the world and really connect to the inner self and connect to the self. And it really is an empowering process, an empowering journey. So those of you this year that are wanting to really turn this year up and really to make huge progress this year, this is your first step forward.
Absolutely. And I know I shared this last time, but I'm going to say it again. And I love that it's happening in January. We have like 3, I think, level 1s planned for the rest of the year.
Yep.
But to kick off the new year in this kind of energy that is created in the level 1 is just, it'll be so good. I'm just so excited. And then the last thing that I wanted to mention is we are starting our value-based life coaching certification program.
Yep.
It's a little bit of a mouthful, but it's going to be incredible. So if you have, been thinking, if you've been watching our lives, if you've gone through seminars, if you've kind of been in the value-based, which we're going to talk a lot about today, hint, hint, a little spoiler, community that we here at Turning Leaf work very hard to cultivate. And you've been like, hey, maybe I would love to learn how to do that or be a life coach or even just get that skill set to use it at my current workplace, in my family. I want to be able to be a healer in my family, whatever that looks like. Then our year program that we've been working diligently to put together to certify people to be able to be a value-based life coach is beginning February 4th.
Yes.
So excited.
And for those of you that are looking to become life coaches, as you said, but not just that. Like if you are leaders in your organization, if you are corporate leaders or leadership in any organization, this is a really good set of tools for you to acquire, as well as how to manage and move people forward on your teams and how to move teams forward and people forward. We're going to be learning all sorts of skills about body language, about understanding how to help process through things with people to help them move them forward if they're feeling blocked in their work or blocked in life.
Yep.
We're going to be learning tools that will help you be able to organize and help others create skills of organization. So many skill sets that you'll learn in this process. So jump in, and if not, then we have another course probably starting next year this time.
Yep, absolutely, 100%. So with all of the calendar items now finished, let's dive into our topic for the day, which is, so I just told you, we are value-based life coaches, right?
Correct.
And that is the intention going into the coaching program, is to train people up in that kind of environment and really that anchor spot, right?
Right.
So let's talk about that tonight. That's Dean and I were talking about, that would be really incredible to really dive into where this value-based coaching, and I don't know, I'm having a hard time with my words, like the intentional anchor that TurningLeaf has created and has come from in the entirety, right?
Yeah.
So maybe I just would love to share with them how that got started.
A little history.
Yeah, a little history lesson for you.
Well, the interesting thing, the amazing part about it is about 2003 was actually the first year so it's been 20 years. It just really dawned on me today. It's been about 20 years I've been doing coaching, and that's when I first started coaching. In 2005, we were invited to help start a residential treatment center here in town. And so as we were working to put the programming together, I remember vividly Sue Judd and I sitting down and really starting to talk about how we could help these young men and women and these parents kind of move forward and grow and transition. And the main issue running from treatment center was that transition home. And that's always been an issue.
Yes.
For those of you out there that understand the industry, it's how do I get what's going on in that treatment center to be sustained at home? And what we came up with was core values. And so at that point, we started to develop the program at the time around core values. And we identified that designing a 10 core value system for the whole organization or the treatment center, and then building our structure around that. And that was really the birth of value-based work for us at TurningLeaf, and that was back in 2005. At that point, we really started leaning in, and we started developing more around core values. We started to develop the value-based parenting model, which was a kind of a spin-off of residential treatment centers, so that a child going into a residential treatment center, learning these core values, living their life based upon core values, because rules and laws and all those things, they're so easy to fall apart.
Yeah.
And they're negotiable, and there's so many loopholes and whatnot. But core values transition, and they transcend. They go from home to school. They go from school to friends' houses. And so really kind of moving down that road where those core values became the anchor points in the value-based parenting model that we developed, that Dr. Moody and I developed to help run us forward. And again, in the coaching program, you'll be learning how to teach the value-based parenting model.
Yep.
And so then it became that real powerful anchor point for our coaching program. So as coaches, we start to help people establish their 10 core values, and we start to help them live according to their core values, which becomes the governing system. It makes choices a lot easier. It makes sticking to your guns a lot easier. It makes decisions and holding boundaries a lot easier. And so those are a lot of powerful things that we were able to do and create from the initial onset. So that's kind of the historically how we came across that. The part that I loved was that then it wasn't too far afterwards that that corporate America started grabbing a hold of it and others started. I'd love to take credit for that, but I don't think we can. I just think that we were tied into the higher collective of energy that kind of inspired us. At the same time, it was inspiring others.
Yeah, I love that. And I keep doing this because we've got Instagram over here that's a little off-center from YouTube, but I wanted to grab a question that came in through the chat. If I can see the whole thing, I might have to stand up for a little bit. Michael says value-based as in faith-based ?
That's a great question.
It is a really good question, so I wanted to grab it.
Yeah, the important part about values is we're not talking necessarily about a religious-based
Right.
situation. It can be faith-based, based upon your faith and your spirituality. Your core values are really going to be connected to your personal moral compass. And your moral compass connects to whatever spirituality or whatever theology you grab a hold of. So core values are things like, and I'll share with you TurningLeaf's core values.
Yes,
How's
I
that?
love it.
So TurningLeaf's core values are community, accountability, evolving, acceptance, safety, gratitude, communication, authenticity, hope, and abundance. And so these are core values. They are moral compass driven because they are really about what drives us as an organization here, but they aren't necessarily tied into anybody's theology.
Right.
So therefore, everyone here at TurningLeaf, we can have all sorts of different belief systems, but we can all come together under our values. And that's what's so powerful. You know, when you go into homes, a lot of times one of the first places children rebel is religion. So if you're anchored in core values, it's not a matter of rebelling against religion. It's a matter of living in alignment with core values, because they kind of, they bridge everything. And so those are kind of an example. Hopefully that answered that question.
I loved it. And to just kind of piggyback off of what you were saying, it's one of my favorite places to work with individuals in my office. And I know that you do the similar stuff in here, because we're in Dean's office, by the way. And to watch and experience as someone really starts to anchor into and drive home what their own personal governing system is.
Yes.
Because most of the time we really just adopt like familial stuff or societal stuff or what's going on in our community. We'll kind of just adopt things as like, oh, this is the way that we're supposed to govern. And people don't really oftentimes take a moment to say, okay, but really, what are my top 10? And I always tell people, like, you have more than 10 values.
Right.
You have a lot of values
Right.
of what you navigate your world through. However, to identify your top 10, which can be an evolution, so wherever you're at right now, right? I love in value-based parenting, we always talk about like a 3-year-old's top 10 values is going to look a lot different than a 17-year-old's top 10 values,
Than
right?
a 30-year-old's.
Than a 30-year-old, because we're just always evolving.
Yep.
But it's such a powerful place to really take a look at, man, what is my top 10 values? What are my big ones that I want to make sure that I am holding myself into accountability with, that I'm governing my life, that I'm getting into an intention and moving things into creation like we're talking about often on our lives. And if you get around us for any second, we're always talking about that stuff. And it's so wonderful because they're all unique and they're yours.
Yeah. If you can see, like right here, these are actually my core values. And I have my core values here in my office, and I have core values on my nightstand at home.
Yeah, me too.
And so we have our own personal core values, and then we have our organizational core values. And a lot of the corporate work, when we're doing our corporate coaching and our corporate trainings and our corporate support work that we do with organizations here and there, we go in and we actually work with these organizations to establish their core values as well. And it's about changing that. It's really helpful in that cultural shift and that cultural change. So, you know, if you have an organization that you're working with and you need to create some cultural changes, let us help you organize that with the core value processes that we've developed. And they're very successful and in really helping change corporate culture and family culture into a healthy venue that helps everybody kind of move forward and attach. And that's the part that I love about really, and the whole reason that we really were attracted to it is going back to the conversation that Sue and I were having. It was, how do we transition, you know, these young men and women from home, from this treatment setting into home? And the only thing that's going to go with them is their morals and their values and their core values. And that's the only thing that's going to go between the two centers. And so if you really work to establish really powerful foundations in our family, in ourselves, then regardless of where we go, we will be consistent in our venue. And that's one of the most powerful things. That's why level 1's so powerful, is to learn how to be the same person you are at home, at work, at family reunion, you know, to Pizza Hut. And there's a shameless plug for Pizza Hut. But that consistency of venue, and if you ever go into a venue and you don't feel like you can be the same person in all of those venues, a lot of it's because we're connected externally for a value instead of internally.
Yes.
Well, one of the best ways to connect to ourselves internally is through our own core values and giving ourselves something that we really anchor into as truths about who we are, so that you can look yourself in the mirror and know, hey, yeah, I'm a really, I'm progressing, I'm growing, I'm moving forward, and that's a really important part of the core value process.
Yeah. Yes. So what we had decided that we'd love to do with you, and hopefully you'll accept our invitation, because we're probably going to do it anyway, whether you like it or not, is we would love to take some time over the next little while of weeks and months in our experience and really talk about each of the values that we have here at Turning Leaf as far as our corporate top 10 core values, and challenge you to be developing yours, right? And so really understanding when we say, because I'm a words nerd, everyone knows it, I make up my own sometimes, and I'm all about it. Like, I'm all about words.
They're not real.
And some of them are very not real, and that's okay.
And that's okay.
They're real in my space. But what I know is that sometimes when we use word like community, right, we can all have very different definitions of what that actually means and what that actually looks like. So it's important to make sure that you are in understanding of what that value would be, right? And so I chose community to share that example with you, because that's where we would love to focus with you guys in understanding, first and foremost, what we would define as community and why it's a part of our value system here at Turning Leaf, and then also maybe extend an invitation for you to once again go and develop your top 10.
Absolutely. And having the discussion, like you said, really talking about what they mean. And that's what the beautiful part about bringing core values into a corporate setting or into a family setting is that these are the foundational conversations, and they're not a hot topic or an off topic. They're not a topic that's controversial. It's just, what is your understanding of this? Here's what our understanding. Let's create a collective understanding of it, and it gets everybody on the same page, and most importantly, it gives everybody a voice in the process.
Yes.
So for us at Turning Leaf, it becomes our first, not number one, but our first leading core value, and the one that we want to share with you today is community. And one of the main reasons that community is at the first of the list, not first in priority or importance, but the first in the list, is to keep us focused here in Turning Leaf on who we're really here to serve.
Right.
And we are here to heal ourselves, because you can't heal others if you're not healing yourself. You can't help anybody if you're not really able to have a foundation to stand on. But that community, not only is it about who we serve, but also who we can allow to be there for us, and not forgetting that we are a part of the community in our need to be loved and accepted and cared about as well. So you are a part of that community. If you're watching right now, thank you for being a part of our core values. Thank you for being a part of our community.
Absolutely. And like, for me, when we were having this conversation and really like solidifying what our 10 values would be, I saw how community, in the way that we were talking about it, kind of had a ripple experience, right? Like that ripple effect, that relational ripple effect, because we do work really hard on our like work environment community, right? Like between you and I and Camry at the front, Allie and Jill and everyone that's like a part of making all the nuts and bolts and pieces work of the company.
Yep.
And then it moves into those individuals who are coming here to do seminar, right? To come to Monday night group, to come and do the work in the office, to watch us on the lives, like that next layer of the community ripple out. And we, like, it's really important for us that you guys understand how much we really do love and appreciate you. We take what you could potentially need and try to be an impact in a positive way for our community. And then it ripples out from there into our literal community here in Southern Utah, right? Like, how can we get involved? We've gotten involved with the Ironman, thanks to me and my Uncle Colby, and getting and doing some community service and really trying to see how we can extend and just be a part of our literal physical community here in Southern Utah. So for me, it's kind of trifold in our value.
Very much. Yeah. And that's such an important part for us, is to recognize the value that we bring into communities, but the value that the communities have on us, and the ability to be a part of and serve, but also be served. And, you know, we love the smiles that we get from all of you. We love the comments. I think it's just so funny how sometimes I feel like a little bit of a celebrity when I walk around town, just because people have seen my face and they're like, hey, I know, I've seen your stuff. And it's really neat and supportive, and to have that love and that community and that support, and people that have been like, hey, thank you for that list of books, thank you for those things that you've done, and that really is something that helps guide our direction moving forward. I also wanted to touch on another view of the word community, which is the word company. You know, when we think about the word company and or organization, we start realizing that, you know, company is something, this company, the company of TurningLeaf, it's really about family.
Yeah.
And I always remember being a kid. I was the youngest of 6, and so, you know, we had a ton going on in our home all the time, a ton.
Yeah.
And I always remember when my mother would say, hey, we have company coming over tonight. And it would just, man, the endorphin release. It would just be like, I was so pumped. You know, we're running around cleaning the house, setting chairs up, doing whatever we wanted, you know, need to do to bring people in, to accept people into our community, to accept people into our home, and to bring that company in. And they came into our home and they brought this sense of connection and a sense of value. And I felt important because these people were coming into our home to see us. And so when we think of company and companies out there, corporations, companies, it really is about the company that you keep, the family that you develop, and the companies that you work with, and the people you bring into your company. It's all about bringing that sense of connection, that sense of value. And it's such a powerful word for us to recognize that company and community are very, very synonymous with one another.
Yes, absolutely. And so here in the very, we're over time, but because you guys are so important to us, I want to make sure we get some of these comments, because I feel like they've been doing awesome.
I'm trying to read them. We apologize.
Jackie says, all words are made up. Thanks, Jackie, for having my back there. Curtis says, you're welcome. It's a blessing to be a part of your community. And we love you too,
Thank you, Curtis. Appreciate that. Well, thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you for liking and sharing our videos. You can always follow us on our YouTube channel. We have cache and cache of these types of videos for almost 4 years now. So please go back. You can find all sorts of content, from parenting to personal development to anything and everything in between. Just go to our YouTube channel, which is
TurningLeaf.
TurningLeaf Health and Wellness,
Health
right?
and Wellness.
Oh my God.
See, and here's the other thing, and I'll just do a shameless plug for this because I've got no shame with it. We need to have people subscribing to the channel, so then it's not like just the numbers that happen. It'll actually say TurningLeaf Health and Wellness in our URL on that. So go do us a huge favor, community, and go subscribe to it.
Go subscribe to us, because it is
grateful.
hard for us to remember all the numbers and everything. But thank you for liking and sharing. You're amazing. We won't keep you any longer tonight. Have an amazing Tuesday night, and we will see you all next week on Tuesday Night Live.
Mwah. Bye.
Bye.